Hosea, Take Me to Church, Josh Widdicombe on Sunday morning on XFM. Obviously people listening to that on their way to church, presumably. If the demographic is how I imagine it is. How are you, Neil?
Very well, thank you, Josh.
Good. Any, good week?
It's been a grand week, yeah.
It's been a grand week.
Yeah.
What's happened?
It's been a 5-day week instead of a 6-day week. I had a day off on Friday.
You had your day off? What did you do with your day off? Watch the Ryder Cup?
I did not watch the Ryder Cup.
Wasted day off.
I have a life.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why haven't you brought this up before? What did you do with your day off?
I was in charge of my daughter for one morning, unsupervised.
Oh, yeah? Well done.
What I discovered in my house was I have a big horse's head.
Do you? What, like the Mafia?
Like the Netflix character BoJack Horseman. You know those plastic heads? So I put that on and then pretended to be a horse, and she loved it.
Right. What do you mean? I don't understand. You've got a horse's head?
It's like a big plastic mask.
Well, how did you discover that? Where was that?
Well, I took it home ages ago and found it.
Oh, right, okay.
So I was like, this is good fun.
Yeah. Oh, well, good work. Glad you had a day off for that.
Yeah, wife wasn't happy.
No, why not? Is that bad parenting?
She thought I might have terrified my child. She loved it.
Really? Yeah. So have you now basically got to dress in the horse's head at all times?
I think it's in the bin.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I've been watching the Ryder Cup, which it's just the greatest sporting. Well, I haven't even been watching it. I find it. I like it. I find it so tense that I can't watch it because it makes me nervous.
Why?
So I just follow it via occasionally looking at the BBC website with my fingers crossed.
So who do you want to win?
Are you being funny? Europe.
Yeah, that's fine, but you might have had reasons for wanting to America.
No, not after the miracle of Medina, mate.
What's that?
Let's get into it. 1999, I think it was. It was a disaster. Anyway, yeah, it's a wonderful sporting. I think it's just, obviously I love Europe generally, so it's a way for me to finally articulate that.
So, do you play golf yourself?
No. Crazy, occasionally. I like crazy. I haven't got the mentality for golf. That's the problem. I can't put a mistake. Like, if I go wrong, I can't put that to my back of my mind and move on, which is going to be a problem when we come to the next link.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
We've managed to make it onto YouTube. One of James Acaster's classic scrapes has been made into a video. Might be too.
It's pictorial with some animation.
Yeah, and I noticed edited me out of it quite a lot.
But he is the star of that particular piece of radio, so don't get upset.
I don't know if that's the case, because a great interview is all about how it's held together by the interviewer. No?
That's true of Parkinson, but what I'm saying
I'm not comparing myself to Parkinson and James Acaster to Muhammad Ali. Who would? Before we get a lot of complaints about your inaccuracies, what have you been up to this week?
I've had a lot of quiet early nights this week. It's been exciting.
That's a step forward.
Yeah, I read Jurassic Park as well. It was good.
You read Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Is it different from the film?
It is.
Is it? It's still dinosaurs.
Still dinosaurs.
What happens in...
Well, as I said, at the end, it's quite bleak, because effectively the two kids kill their grandparent.
What do you mean? What, they kill Richard Attenborough?
Kind of, yeah.
God, that's topical. What happened? Why do they kill their grandparent?
They're in the control room, they find a computer, and they find like a soundboard, and they play a dinosaur sound effect which makes him panic and run off into the jungle, and then he gets eaten.
Are you sure you read it right?
I read it right.
How long does it take you to read a book?
Week and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been on the Virgin Suicides for so long. It's a real trudge, but I'm at page 30, so we're really kicking on.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Paolo Nutini, Iron Sky. This is Josh Widdicombe on XFM. You laughing, producer Neil?
Nutini.
Paolo Nutini. Yeah.
Paolo Nutini. Nutini?
Paolo Nutini.
Nutini.
Hope you're not allergic to nuts. That was Paolo Nutini on XFM. That's how I'm going to do it from now on. Matt Ford can't come on anymore because he's allergic to nuts.
Is he?
Yeah, that's not... that's not interesting news. Is it? I thought he was a real man. Now, time for any other business, where you readers, listeners, pick us up on where we've gone wrong, and if Matt Ford is listening, he is allergic to nuts, so it's not a lie. And we will uphold the complaint with this sound, or reject it with this sound.
No way.
No way. It sounded very dry mouthed then. Have I got you slightly too high up in my ears? Because it really felt like you were kind of licking my earlobe. Dear Josh, producer Neil and intern Charles, I'm writing as a long-term listener, first-time AOBer, which I imagine will greatly upset Neil as I tweeted him when I was having trouble downloading the podcast. Sorry. I'm a little dry-mouthed myself. He helped me resolve it and was glad that there was no need for an AOB. In podcast episode 78, during the Call My Josh feature, the TV show Eureka was mentioned, and you stated that this is a show that gave Fern Cotton her big break. Incorrect. Fern was actually on many TV shows such as The Disney Club, children's Saturday morning show Dig It, and also around the same time as Eureka, she was a TV presenter on Smile, a Sunday morning children's show, alongside Reggie Yates. Yours pedantically, Emily. Feelings?
Well, she spelled it out pretty clearly that I got it wrong. So.
Yeah. I think, though, yeah, I mean, there's not an implication that there was another big break.
Yeah, but I stated that was her big break.
Oh, I see, yes. During Call My Josh segment of podcast episode 79, this is a Call My Josh special, isn't it?
Yes.
During the Call My Josh segment, if anything, the feature's been going 4 weeks. Clearly, there's teething problem. During the Call My Josh segment of the podcast episode 79, Josh stated that Tom Selleck starred in the 90s film Cop and a Half. Still a funny name, even when we know it's wrong. This is in fact false. It was actually another mustachioed 90s mainstay, Burt Reynolds. James Acaster was wrong to say it was true, yours pedantically. Will Chitch. Not my fault.
Let's look over to the left of the studio at Intern Charles.
Does a bit of research. You confused Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck.
They look the same.
Racist. Unbelievable. Just because two men have got a moustache does not mean they all look the same, mate. Did you say it was Ian Rush? Hi, Josh and producer Neil. Sorry, Charles. That's unbelievable. They haven't even said hello to you, so angry, are they? Not exactly an AOB. Well, overall then. But something you might like to know. Have we got a feature called Something You Might Like to Know? No?
Not yet.
Shall we go ahead anyway?
Yes.
Josh's fake 90s movie, Mrs. Claus Goes to Hollywood, is almost a description of a movie that actually exists, called Finding Mrs. Claus, but it came out in 2012. This is the summary on IMDb. When Mrs. Claus feels neglected by a less than attentive husband, she goes to Las Vegas to help a little girl with her Christmas wish. But when Santa finds out... I'm very wheezy.
You are.
Don't know what's wrong with me.
Let's get through it.
Okay, and follows her to Sin City to make amends. He puts Christmas at risk when things don't quite go as he planned. Thanks and love the show, Marieka.
Well, there's no need for the bell or a no way.
No.
It's not an AOB.
So we'll have to have a new feature called Things You Might Like to Know. Hi, Josh, Neil and intern Charles. I love the podcast and listen every week. You can imagine the happiness I felt when you read out my first ever tweet on the show in episode 78. Open brackets, my neighbour is the lady who nominated her parrot for the Ice Bucket Challenge. Close brackets. Oh, still makes me chuckle. I was very excited to let my friends hear it, particularly my friend Paul, who never believes a word I say. And to my dismay, I realised that you pronounced my name Claire Pattinson instead of Claire Patterson. Since I let Paul hear that, he's been calling me Mrs. Pattinson, so thanks for that. Paul is quite the bully. Yours pedantically, Claire Patterson. Just to keep you up to date, my neighbour has advised me Arthur has refused to do his Ice Bucket Challenge thus far. How does a parrot refuse?
I imagine he might be able to say no.
Well, I suppose he could, couldn't he? Yeah. But I suppose physically you could just go through with it anyway.
That's animal cruelty.
That is animal cruelty. I suppose it is. Sorry, Claire. Hi, Josh and producer Neil. In reference to Josh following the Ryder Cup, he referred to the Miracle of Medina being a bad thing that happened in 1999. This is incorrect. The Miracle of Medina occurred 2 years ago when Europe came back from 10-6 down to win 14.5 against 13.5. 1999 was Brooklyn, although he has spelt it Brookline. So who is wrong now?
Well, he is.
When the Americans stormed to the green, having secured victory despite Europe still having a shot to play. Please get your golf-based facts in order. Yours, Owen from Kingsbury. Also pointed out by Andrew Chappell and James Close.
Factually correct.
Factually correct. I do apologise, but it's good to have more golf on the show, isn't it? Because I know you like it.
Yep.
No, not.
I used to play golf, but I'm not.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm not that into
You
it.
kept that under your hat. What do you mean you used to play golf?
Well, my dad was a member of a golf club and he wanted to get me into it, so I played for a few years.
What was your handicap? You didn't reach that level?
No, just had a bit of fun.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Really, a real good idea, mate. Good work. Cheers for leading me down that alley. I recently tweeted your show with a quip regarding fashion. This was a selfless act which makes me more perturbed. Imagine my delight when producer Neil favourited my tweet. Upon downloading podcast episode 77, at exactly 23 minutes 19 seconds, you read out my name and then were interrupted by Ivo Graham. After he had finished, you did not read out my brilliant tweet, as the nation was expecting, but continued with one from Paul Mitchell, which was frankly poor. Yours pedantically, Tom Lainton. Do we have Tom Lainton's tweet to hand?
We don't know. Sorry.
Oh, another kick in the teeth for Tom Lainton. Sorry about that. And we need Paul Mitchell's as well, because Paul Mitchell's...
Well, we can download podcast 77 and listen to it.
I will do on my way home. If you have any other business, email us, josh@xfm.co.uk.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast XFM.
Ask by the Smiths on XFM. Not my favourite Smith song, but still a good one. That is true of all but one Smith song.
How soon is now?
Dunno. Great radio, mate. Great radio. This is the Josh Widdicombe Show, and we're cooking on gas on a Sunday morning. That was producer Neil. Once again, you've been kind of slightly off form so far today, Neil. You haven't, but I just thought I'd see how you responded to a different type of management.
Okay, good.
The hairdryer treatment. I imagine you'd enjoy the hairdryer treatment, considering how fluffy your hair is. I doubt that's naturally drying. How do you dry your hair?
I let it dry naturally.
Do you towel it first?
I towel it, have a bit of product, and then it probably kind of dries with the wind as I ride at pace to the train station each morning.
On a horse? That's how I like to picture.
No, on a bike.
And then you tether up Dobbin, get on the train and head into town. I didn't know you rode to the station. It's exciting, isn't it? The more you find out.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Rage Against the Machine, killing in the name of... I kind of half committed to that. What do you think?
Go all or go home.
Go all or go home. Well, no, because I kind of... You know, I wouldn't be as extreme in my politics as Rage Against the Machine, but I can see where they're coming from. And I think that came across in my delivery. Whereas you were just bobbing your head side to side in what was... I mean, to be honest, the rebellion was not in the air in the XFM studio. Now, it's time to talk about today's text topics. And the first one we wanted to talk about is school art projects you did at school. And, well, we could broaden this out to the arts, if you want, music and, what's the other one? Drama. But did you, at school, I didn't do art GCSE, I did media studies.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't go wow. I wasn't particularly... in fact, I can tell you what I did for my soap opera. Does that make you laugh already?
Yep.
Trailer for a soap opera called Westward Point. Set in a Cornish surfing community. Want to buy it? Want to buy the idea?
I imagine it's a bleak home and away.
Bleak, yeah. Not bad. Not a bad call. I also did a newspaper. I wasn't planning on talking about the East Project. And the name of the newspaper was The Good Friend. Because you can always trust a good friend. But my friend Robin, he did an art project for his GCSE, and do you want me to tell you the teacher's reaction or what the art project was first?
Teacher's reaction first.
The teacher's reaction was very thought-provoking. The art project was a picture of Mother Teresa with a bloody tear.
Oh. Wow.
Thought-provoking?
Yeah, very.
So I thought, what art projects did you do at school? And that could be, or in music, what songs, or in media studies, or in drama, what plays. What did you create as part of your school arts education. And secondly, we wanted things you found in a charity shop or car boot sale.
Yeah.
Dumb? Right. Have you... I went past a charity shop the other day, and they had a display. They had a table outside with a display of loads of Lance Armstrong books. Which obviously had been given in, but they've obviously not heard. This guy's really popular. I don't know why people keep handing his books in. Well, have you found anything in a charity shop or car boot sale?
Well, when we were up in Edinburgh, I was confused by a charity shop window.
Yeah.
Because it looked really nice. They had kind of kilts. Mannequins dressed in kilts.
Playing to you?
Yeah, mannequins dressed in kilts, the full works.
So had people handed in their kilts?
Well, yeah.
But no one, under a kilt. I wouldn't want to use a used kilt.
Anyway, you scanned up, so you went, mannequin legs, kilt, shirt, jacket, and then they had like dolls and dogs' heads where the mannequin's head should have been. It was quite terrifying.
They had a dog's head?
Yeah, but like a mask. So they kind of put... I don't know what they were trying to achieve.
Like Scotty Dog?
There wasn't, no.
There wasn't a Scotty...
No.
Well, yeah.
So
I think the problem with a mannequin in a charity shop is it's very difficult to... They struggle to mix and match, don't they? Because it's such an array of problems. I like the CD section of a charity shop because it's basically albums you'd forgot exist. You will always find the Corner Shop album. Whatever charity shop, it's a good album. But anyway, let's move on from that in case they're listening.
Josh Widdicombe.
Me and producer Neil are discussing currently lamest things you've cried at. Neil has got a bit of a chip on his shoulder about the England v Scotland goal montage from Euro 96. So, how would you feel about Nigel Garland, who has written, drunk one night, which is a good start. That is a good start to this topic. I like it. Drunk one night, I cried for mums whose failed birthday cakes were internet memes. Now, I don't know whether he's looking at them or whether it was just the sheer idea of them.
I think he's probably looking at them going, raising a family, trying to bake a cake for a birthday.
Raising a cake. Trying to raise a family and raise a cake at the same time.
And the internet laughs at her.
Have you ever just drunkenly cried at the internet?
No. I don't think I
No,
have.
me neither, mate. Me neither. So let's move on. Yeah?
Josh Widdicombe.
Just say no, kids. The Verve. Drugs don't work on XFM. This is the Josh Widdicombe Show. I'm still pushing our messages. Still with producer Neil.
Good afternoon.
Angela Barnes.
Hello.
And James Acaster. Good morning.
Hello, Josh Widdicombe. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Oh, I don't want to be that guy.
Too late.
I don't want to be that guy who does that.
Oh, I don't like that guy at all.
No.
We don't want that guy on the show.
Good morning. I think I'll find it after. Oh, well, good night in that case.
So, should we just go straight on to the topics?
Yeah.
School art projects?
Yep.
Yeah, did you do any art?
Oh, I was quite a serious artist in school. Took myself very seriously.
Some things don't change, Jake.
Yeah. To this day. I for my GCSE art, we had to do a project and the only thing we were given was the title, which was Inside.
Oh.
So to interpret that.
Stiltskin.
I was just going to say
They
that,
really
Josh. Thank
interpret
you.
it.
Stiltskin. Great.
Great reference.
Other kids did stuff like, inside actual buildings and stuff, did literal stuff and whatever. I think this is the most pretentious thing you can do with that title. Inside Life.
Inside your life.
Oh no, just inside life in general.
What does that mean?
Well, Josh, if you saw the art project, you'd know, because the project consisted of loads of photos I'd taken of life. And just how life is.
Oh, life.
It's something like that. So it's like, I remember one of the photos was of some litter.
Life is rubbish.
Yeah. People are littered on the. It's like, oh, look at this litter that is on the floor.
Yeah.
There's a photo of friends. Just pals and people that mean a lot to me.
Not the sitcom.
No, not the sitcom. Obviously, although that did at that age make up a vast proportion of life. And then in the middle, I'd written like a kind of bit of prose about life, which I remember ended with the line, And don't forget, you won't be inside life forever.
How old were you, James?
I was probably about 15, old enough to not do that.
What did you score?
I think. I also remember I made a mixtape to go with it that the teachers had to listen to while they graded it. So
I hated you.
It was really depressing as well. A really depressing mixtape. I remember running into my art teacher in the corridor and she went, "I've just been grading your art project and now I want to kill myself."
I love the fact they did listen to it.
Yeah, they had to listen
You know something? I've got a mixtape that James Acaster made me in 2008 that I've still not listened to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Inside Life.
So what was on Inside Life? Now that's what I call life.
It had a lot of. I was listening to, I was a Kerrang reader back then. I was listening to quite a lot of dreary new metal bands and things
Bit of
like
Papa
that.
Roach.
Yeah, but like the one Papa Roach song that isn't a rap one, the one that was like really slow, and they just like really bands like Stained. Spelt without an E.
Yeah, I remember Stained,
Yeah. So yeah, it's all stuff like that. And,
Wow, that's
I don't remember how I graded on it, but it wasn't.
Neil, you're right.
Yes, amazing.
If you have any pretentious art work that you've done, text us 83936 or tweet us at XFM. Coming up, Angela's going to reveal a kind of copyright issue based artwork anecdote. If you're the lawyer for Percy Pig, I'd be worried.
Inside Life was my own creation, Josh. I didn't rip it off.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Right, now last week we were talking about detention, and there was one we didn't read out, even though it was the most we ever had on anything. So shall I read this out, Neil? A long story of detention. This is from Michael. In the spring of 95, I got a detention for defeating my Year 10 maths teacher at his weekly Maths is Fun arithmetic challenge. Essentially a randomly generated speed-based contest. Imagine Sudoku meets the numbers game from Countdown, which he not only took part in, but being a kind of antiquated schoolmaster inside whom a piece had died when they outlawed corporal punishment, also took great pleasure in wiping the floor with us mere math mortals, reclining smugly in his chair post-victory. On that fateful day, the god of numbers shined brightly on me. By some strange and unexplained coincidence, I was numerically possessed, discharging calculations quicker than Charlie Babbitt on amphetamines. I completed the challenge in astonishing time and, more importantly, incurred not a single time penalty for an incorrect answer. It was, to this day, one of the highlights of my life. But the euphoria was short-lived. Have we got sad music?
Yes.
But the euphoria was short-lived. Such was his disbelief that this previously unexceptional student, his second-tier maths set, could ever best a university postgraduate. He indignantly accused me of cheating, and despite my protests, I was expelled from class immediately, with detention in hand. Livid at the injustice, I did what any moral crusader would, went straight to the head of house and complained, who, realising said detention would mean me missing training for the Red House five-a-side football team, he managed to quickly dismiss the punishment and returned me to class. Things were frosty for a few weeks after, his pride clearly wounded, but I considered my moral victory an important one, even if my inability to recreate the form of that day only compounded suspicions of foul play. Cut to a year later.
This is an epic!
And after a heavy late-night session of Championship Manager, I'm running late for my GCSE maths exam. Turn up without a calculator or compass. But confident these sort of oversights will be covered by the Education Authority. It was the same confidence that led me being humiliatingly climbing a rope in my Y-fronts during PE many years before, but I assured myself it was a different climate back then. I arrive, take my seat, request a calculator from one of the vigilators, who's happy to oblige, when suddenly I feel a firm hand on my shoulder. Turn to see my maths teacher fixing me with a steely, dead-eyed gaze, and then he whispers coldly into my ear, "A boy genius like you doesn't need a calculator." Walks off to start the exam. I got a D and had to retake later that summer.
That can't have happened.
I'm really glad you said that can't have happened. I thought that was going to be a very different phrase.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast XFM.
We had a text in from Michael Marden about how he'd failed his maths GCSE because he wound up his teacher and the teacher wouldn't give him a calculator for the exam. Ooh. It gets bleaker. He writes on a new subject. During my art GCSE, I wouldn't say this isn't so much sad. It's just it's just quite a good anecdote. During my RGCSE, a classmate painted for his end of year project 7 different portraits of Hollywood legend Roger Moore. One for each of his iconic Bond roles, and each one in a different artistic style from history.
Oh, that's impressive.
I put
really
that up
good.
in my lounge. That sounds...
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It caused quite the debate at the time. There was even an article about it in the local paper. I have no idea what grade he ended up receiving, but there was even more controversy when during the post-exam exhibition attended by friends, family and the public, an unknown stranger purchased his Baroque octopussy for what was then quite a considerable sum. Years later, we were told by his then best friend that the mystery art collector was in fact the family's gardener, paid by his mum to buy the said piece, presumably to boost his confidence. Or manufacture some hype about her son's artistic ability.
I don't understand what the controversy is.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Why was that? It said there was a debate and controversy over his artwork.
Well, whether it was good or not, I suppose it's like the Damien Hirst's formaldehyde shark or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Formaldehyde cow.
Cow.
I think he did a shark as
He did a
well.
shark as well. What do you do with a shark? Formaldehyde or not?
I think he just pickled lots of things.
Yeah.
Or just definitely formaldehyde?
This is the lowest brow discussion I've ever been involved.
Do you remember
It's like the culture show on here, isn't it?
called Roger Moore? Roger Moore in formaldehyde.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Last night by Spoilt Rich Kids, The Strokes. We were just they're not. They're not. But apparently they went to very nice schools. Yeah, so
In Switzerland, you say?
in Switzerland, that's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but it is true, isn't it? That was but, you know, they smoked and drunk beer, so it was fine. They were rock and roll, yeah? I like them. More than it sounds like I do. I really
Brilliant
like them.
backpedaling there.
I mean, some would argue they've gone off the boil. Not for me to say. Shall we move on?
Quickly, I'd say.
I like the Strokes, guys. What's wrong with that? It's just, I'm a bit of a class warrior. Right. Call My Josh, in which we give you, Angela, we have 5 things of a topic. Some are made up, some are real.
Right.
We've had previously 80s movies, we've had 90s movies, we've had TV game shows. This week, your topic is bands.
Ooh, okay.
So, normally we say you need to get 3 out of 5. I think you just need to get as many as you can, and then we'll make a league table of how everyone does each week. Like the Top Gear lap challenge. Or that omelette thing on Saturday.
So I get a wet lap if it's raining.
You not get into that. Right. Bands, these are all bands. Are they real or are they faked?
Okay.
Missionary Impossible, 2001.
Oh, God.
I'll give you a bit of description. Ska punk side project of Travis bassist Dougie Payne. Their one album consists of covers of love songs, but always replacing the word sex with socks and the word love with glove.
I mean, I want that to be true, but I don't think it is.
You don't think that's true?
No.
You're correct.
Yeah!
I thought...
Did that come out of your brain then?
Well, yeah, I thought that this morning. I thought that sounded quite plausible.
Hang on, do
So
something when
it'd be
they
like a
change the word
comedy
sex
side
for socks.
Yeah, but it's like a comedy side project band that Dougie Payne's... it didn't happen, so I can't really argue. Earlier on, you thought that might...
Yeah, I was sticking by you, mate. Don't worry.
Right.
Amazing.
K9us, a death grind band formed in 2005 that ended in 2011 when their lead singer Basil died. Basil was a dog.
Yes, I want that to be true. So,
How is that plausible?
Dog-fronted band. K9us, and it's, what is it, death metal or something? Death grind.
Death grind.
Death grind. Oh, everyone knows what that is, right? They sound like dogs growling when they sing, so you could easily be a dog. Yeah.
All right, Grandad. Problem is you can't tell what's a dog and what's a human these days, isn't it, when you turn on top of the pops?
You can't hear the words, can you? You can't hear the words.
No, you can't hear the words. All right, correct. 2 out of 2.
Yes.
Oh. Archie's Beanbag, 1996 to 1997. The definitive Britpop also-rans, Archie's Beanbag, were formed of rejected members of Menswear and Lush. Their album, Essex Road, holds the record for the worst first-week sale of a major record label ever, with 6 copies.
Oh, this sounds so like it came out of your brain, because it's so 90, like Menswear, Lush, but I'm going to say it's true because there's too many little facts in that for it.
Which fact?
I think the thing about selling 6 copies and that. True.
It's false.
Oh!
Would you have fallen for that one, Neil?
No.
No?
No, you couldn't. As a band name, even that's just.
Oh, she's
Beanbag. How did you come up with that?
This is just a good band name.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So, all these bands should exist, even if they don't. That's my thing. 30-odd Foot of Grunts. Australian rock band.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is Russell Crowe's band?
Hey, very good.
Oh, yeah. I so nearly swore then, I can't even tell you.
Oh, no, that's fine. And,
It's not fine.
They disbanded in 2005 when lead singer Russell Crowe wanted to take his music in a different direction. Okay, so
I've never listened to it.
3 out of 4 to set quite a good score.
Okay.
On the scoreboard. Roadblock, 1998 to 2003. Roadblock had a #1 single with their song Roadblock had a #1 single when their song Modest Orange was used on an advert for Wrigley's Juicy Fruit. However, their career never reached these heights again after they made a joke on Pebble Mill about how long it takes to ingest chewing gum and lost their contract with Wrigley's.
What was the year?
1998 to 2003.
Pebble Mill was long gone by then. False.
Oh! It was
Do your
false.
research, mate.
Wow.
Do your research.
Wow.
Would you have got that one?
I probably would have gone for that. Yeah.
Also, I don't think Roadblock would have performed on Pebble Mill. It was a mistake to bring up Pebble Mill. Were you
Pebble
on board
Mill was
until
your
then?
floor there, I have to say.
Yeah. Well, 4 out of 5. Strong
Yes.
score. You go straight onto the leaderboard.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Muse Muscle Museum from their debut album Showbiz. The year 2000. Is that right? Something like that.
God, you've been to radio school this week, haven't you?
Producer Neil there, starting to get a little itchy feet, bit worried. Angela Barnes still here.
Hello?
James Acaster.
Hi.
And now, last week I had a week off, but our new series of unlikely celebrity friendships. So far we've had...
We have had Graham Souness and Dale Winton.
Yep.
They holiday together. Brian Eno and Carolina Hearn, who were next door neighbours.
Yep.
And he installed a button in her house that would turn off his studio if it got too loud.
That's amazing.
That is good, isn't it?
And Thierry Henry and Charlene Spiteri from Texas.
Yeah. That's my favourite still. So, Neil, what have you got for us this week?
Well, this week's is picture-based.
What?
And it's Chris Brown, the rapper / musician,
Yeah.
who's had his faults.
I was wondering whether we were allowed to bring that up.
Is that his fault?
And former EastEnders star Sid Owen.
Which one's Sid Owen?
Here's a picture of them
Ricky?
hanging out at a party in LA.
Has that been photoshopped?
Yeah, it looks like someone's photoshopped Sid Owen.
It's not Photoshop, that's a
It
genuine
looks like,
photo.
you know, when there's a ghost and someone says, but Sid Owen died 4 years ago. So why were they hanging out?
I don't know the backstory. I mean, I can only assume they might have been signed, because, you know, Sid Owen had
He had a hit.
music out, which was a good thing going. So I can only assume it was a label party or something.
I think if you're Sid Owen, you can probably hang out with anyone, can't you?
Do you think?
Okay, you just rock up to someone and they're like, oh yeah, familiar face.
It was LA, yeah?
Yes.
Because I went to, last time I went, the only time I've been to Los Angeles, I saw one celebrity in my whole time there, and that was Beppe from EastEnders.
Wow.
They're all over there now.
So EastEnders got some sort of... Maybe they set up a bar in LA, just like called EastEnders, and every week they have a different...
I'd go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
People don't know that EastEnders is actually filmed in LA.
It's like if you want to film London, you have to film it in LA because LA looks like London on
It does
TV.
look exactly like London. It's where
Walford is. In fact, I was going to say an area of LA. I don't know any of them.
made in Chelsea.
Sunset
that's
Boulevard.
filmed in LA.
Sunset Boulevard. Yes, there we go. This is petered out. But it was a good photo. Will you tweet the photo?
We'll tweet the photo of Matt XFM.
Have to tweet the photo. Have to. I mean, you know.
Are you driving this link into the...
I don't care anymore because Brown's put me in a bad mood.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Catfish and the Bottlemen on XFM. That was a weird rhythm, the way I said it, wasn't it, Neil?
It's good.
It's good. Okay.
Catfish and the Bottlemen.
Catfish and the Bottle Men.
Classic Yes Man.
Yep.
Hey. A Yes Man.
Catfish and the Bottlemen.
Right, coming up, we're going to inject a bit of professionalism, and Neil's going to cook while we do plugs. How does that sound?
Yep.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Bumblebee, Kasabian, more or less bring us to the end of the show. Before that, though, there's a few things we need to do. Number one, obviously thank the listeners for their brilliant input.
Thank you.
There we go. Number two, the podcast will be up on Tuesday or Monday if iTunes can be bothered. Is that the ordering? They're really good. They're really good, those guys. But sometimes they're quicker than some. Sometimes they take ages, sometimes they don't.
There's no rhyme nor reason.
Can't we get them to sneak it onto everyone's iTunes like they did with YouTube?
Yeah, because that really worked for you too.
Well, really well, everyone loved it.
Now,
Still singing all the songs every day.
have you listened to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, you too.
well, that's one. That is one. Yeah, your story checks out. While because we're obviously up against Sunday brunch these days, while you plug, Neil will be cooking. What will you be preparing this week?
I am making a roast dinner this week.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
What?
At 12:51.
Making a roast dinner, yep.
So let's get started.
Well, you need a plate.
Yeah, you got a
Obviously.
plate.
And
Start off with a plate.
That's where I always start with my roast.
got my carrots.
So
See?
what are these raw carrots?
Well, yeah.
They batons you're putting on the plate.
Carrot
yeah?
batons.
Juliette, no?
Batons.
Could I have a carrot?
Actually, no point.
Yeah, you can have a carrot. There you go.
What's that served with the carrot?
A beetroot dipper.
No, I don't need that. Angela, would you like to plug anything?
I would. I've got a run of shows at the Soho Theatre coming up on the 7th to the 11th of October, and it's a room that's probably bigger than it should be for me. So please come along, buy tickets online.
8:45.
8:45.
8:45 p.m.
7th to the 11th of October.
Yes, James.
I am on tour at the minute. All
I
over.
just have to stop you there, James. What have you just put on the plate?
Some peas, some butternut.
Oh.
No, it's not butternut.
Buttered up peas.
Butternut peas, pardon?
Sugar snap peas.
Sugar snap peas.
Okay, so it's quite unroast so far.
Yeah, precious little roasting going on.
It's a raw roast.
Carry on with your
It's a
plugging.
new trend.
Go on with your plug.
Okay then, mate. On tour, jamesacaster.com for all the dates. This week I'll be at Southend on Friday, Coventry on Saturday, and Winchester on Sunday.
Neil.
Can I just say James's second video as well, who's Kettering.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
There's an
haven't seen
online
that yet.
web series I'm doing called Sweet Home Ketteringa, where I revisit Kettering. There are 2 videos up at the moment, one for the football club, one for Wixted Park. Soon to come, the Kettering Museum.
How's the roast going, Neil?
Roast chicken crisps.
Right, Bagsy not eating this.
No,
Yeah, I'm not eating this.
I'm on a diet. What a shame.
Neil, is that it?
That's
Is there any gravy?
no.
Unbelievable.
Sitting there.
What a life. Have you got anything you want to plug?
No, I'm happy.
That is the lowest.
That is, you are not happy. Look at you.
You are not.
You've got-
You're like
James Martin's really worried.
You're like a really sad divorcee.
sugar snaps, carrots, and roast chicken crisps. So just having a Sunday roast. I'm really happy.
He hasn't got the kids today. He can eat what he likes.
Before you fold up your bed into the wall.
I don't need her. I don't need her.
Happy without her.
Well, I am happy.
I'm gonna be all right. Things are looking up.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, James. Thank you, Neil. Wipe away those tears. Up next is Sunta.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM. Podcast.